Welcome to It All Boils Down to This, the podcast where father and son take the kitchen table arguments and heated discussions from their home directly to yours. Jim and Jack Boyle will explore the world as only they can. We might even let a few guests join the fun. So sit back, choose a side, watch the water temperature rise, and enjoy stimulating generational conversation about sports and life. All right, Jack brings us in with the shredding guitar of David Immendorf and Chord Discord. Episode 49 at All Boils Down to This. Welcome. It was a good, fun week. Last week, we're going to go over college football and pro football at week one. Jack, just real quick impressions of the week. Just you college or pro?
College or pro? I had no fun watching the pros. The pros suck, really, honestly. That Chiefs-Ravens game, actually, I did enjoy. But again, I said this at the start of the podcast last week. I wasn't going to enjoy the NFL. The college, though, I had a great week watching. I got my teams. I'm ready to talk about the week.
I like to hear that. Ready to talk about the week. We had our new guest picker, Mr. Greco, came in. I got him again for this week, and is the other guest picker Don? Is that who it is now?
No, it's still no. It's Kevin. It's Yard Goats Kevin.
Yard Goats Kevin. All right.
Yard Goats Kevin. Yeah, that's what it is right now.
All right. So let's kick college football off with the biggest upset probably in about 10, 15 years since Appalachian State beat Michigan at Michigan. Northern Illinois, with the big coach who's an alumni who was excited, goes into Notre Dame and puts a good whooping on them, wins on the last second field goal. Everybody had Notre Dame already penciled in for the championship. What do you think?
No, they need a new coach. I mean, I'm sure Kevin will talk about that in his call, but they need a new coach. That's embarrassing. That's humiliating. You don't recover from that. It can't happen. You had that huge win against Texas A&M. We're talking about how you're a lock for the playoffs. They should be banned from the playoffs now. You can't lose to Northern Illinois and get let in the playoffs. So that was just a totally embarrassing loss at home, too. The refs tried to help them out at the end of the game to give them at least a chance to win. But that's just a horrible loss. If I were a Notre Dame fan, I'd be embarrassed. I would.
So you're telling me that they are now eliminated from the playoff competition because of that loss?
Yeah,
why, I don't think so. I don't agree with that at all.
You can't lose to Northern Illinois. It's like you can lose. They could lose 2-3 games to decent teams. Northern Illinois, that's a disqualifying loss. It is. It should be.
Why?
Because it is. It's so
Illinois.
bad.
It's not like they lost to Fordham or something.
No, it is.
Or Temple.
No, well, that's not realistic. That's not realistic. Like you can't lose like a bye game and make the playoff. You can't. What do you beat Georgia? You lost to Northern Illinois.
All right, I still think that they're still in the competition because they don't have to play a championship game.
Okay, yeah,
even
but it's stupid.
Why would a one-loss Notre Dame team
because they lost to Northern Illinois
not make it in over a 4-loss Penn State team or Michigan team?
Well, forget 4 losses.
3-loss team.
Who are the 3 losses to?
I don't know. I was just thinking anybody with
Northern
3 losses.
Illinois is a disqualifying loss. That's all.
All right. Jack has got Notre Dame disqualified because they lost to NIU. A really horrible game. I don't know what happened. Maybe you go in with a big head. You're a 28-point favorite. That's the biggest favorite to lose in like 14 years. I think Michigan was the last one. That shite the bed on that one. The other big game for all of us for the weekend, which both we did watch, Texas, Michigan, which we were arguing about. We should have taken that bet, and I did it with you about Texas minus the 7.5. Texas completely destroyed Michigan. I mean, destroyed them. Not even a contest. Big Ten SEC. I'm going to talk a little bit of the SEC later, but they completely destroyed them. Michigan got any chance of any kind of recovery?
Michigan's no good. That's quite obvious. And that's another team where, like, if you're a Michigan fan, we just won the national championship. We just established ourselves. Like, they won the national championship last year. And this is the quarterback you throw out there. This is the coach that we have to watch. He'll be gone in 2 years. That's bad for Michigan. Texas looks like a good team and all, but again, at home to get embarrassed like that a year after winning the national championship. Like, if I were a Michigan fan, I'd be pissed. I'd be pissed at what the product that we put on the field. Ohio State just spent $20 million to get themselves a team. What was Michigan doing?
So
how is that their quarterback?
No, I don't know. First of all, they lost all offensive linemen to the quote unquote the NFL is what the logic will be. When you win a national championship, it doesn't mean the next year you're going to win, but I think they should be competitive at home against the top SEC team. Texas has come out gangbusters. They got a great little quarterback. They're a great little backup quarterback. They got great defense. I mean, they're a team to reckon with, I think, throughout. And like I said, after we get through some of the updates on that, we'll talk about the SEC. But Does Michigan have any shot at all?
No, in that Texas team, they were just way faster than Michigan. That's what it was. It was quite clear. You could see it. And no, Michigan has no shot. There's too many good teams on their schedule in the Big Ten. They have no shot. They shouldn't make it. They're not good. They're just not good.
Okay, so
it's not like that quarterback's going to turn around. Now, the quarterback did save me. He all of a sudden made a couple throws on that last drive to get them a touchdown and get the over me. I was waiting. I needed 7 or 6 or 7 points for like 15 minutes there, and I finally got it right at the end. But no, they're toast. Michigan's toast. Write them off. They're not even worth thinking about. Like that Michigan Ohio State game's useless this year. All those games, I don't know. Who cares about Michigan? They're useless. They stunk. If you watch that game,
I got
cares?
you. I got you. We got Michigan and Notre Dame out. That'll annoy like half the country, but they're out. That's fine. There were a couple big teams that struggled this week, and a couple big teams that didn't. I think Oregon versus Boise State, they won by 3. Penn State at home versus Bowling Green State University, BGSU. They struggled at home. And Oklahoma, who come off a complete destruction of Temple, really struggled at home with Houston, which surprised me, which was a former SEC team, a former Big 12 team against a former American Conference team. Houston played really well. That spread was big. Do you see some of these teams being competent enough to win? Or are these early season tests more indicative of what their season is going to go like?
It doesn't matter. They didn't lose. Notre Dame lost. So, like, who cares if you got tests during the year? All you got to do is win. You just win these games. You don't lose teams that you can't lose to. They never do lose these games. You end up not losing these games. So, no, you don't look into it that much. You just keep going. You keep winning, and you get there. Notre Dame's done. I can't talk about Notre Dame.
We got that Notre Dame's done. I don't even Notre Dame. Oh, unless I pick Notre Dame as my lock of the week, which I could do that. Going forward from there, the hometown team, Boston College, they beat FSU, and the last year, who they smoke, Lafayette or one of those, Bucknell or somebody. Bill O'Brien's come in and established a pretty competent offense. You told me they were ranked like 24th, and I think, who are they playing this week? I get that on my list. They got Missouri. They're at Missouri, another SEC team. Where do you see BC right now? Is it just a fluke because Florida State was absolutely crappy, or are they really something we should be looking at here in town?
Well, this is the big week for them. They go into a big SEC school right now. One of the, I think they're ranked 6th in the country, Missouri. You're going into their building, and we'll see what they do there. That's how you know if they're legit or not. If they can play that game tough, they have every chance of playing any team in the ACC tough. So we'll see with BC. They look good. You never know, though. I mean, they beat Florida State. Who knows? But BC, they look good. That's all I'll say right now. It's good to see. I can't tell you the last time they were ranked. Probably Matt Ryan. So it's good to see. It's good to see they got a good coach. That's what a good coach can do for you. A good coach that has organizational skills and has a good brain will make you good in college. It will. Coaching matters.
Before we go back to last week's Picks to Click or whatever we're going to call it, we need a sponsor for that, Jack. Who was our sponsor before? We had a sponsor, didn't we?
No, I don't know. We
need a sponsor for the Joey Trevisani Bat Challenge.
But
we need
he's the sponsor. No,
Joey Trevisani is no longer with us, though.
Well, so?
Okay. We can call it the Joey Trevisani Bat Challenge. I would be remiss sitting here in front of you if I didn't express my complete displeasure with my Temple Owls and their coaching staff. I can't believe that since 2017 we were relevant. In 7 years, we have taken the program to the complete shitter of college football as the probably worst team, and I hate to say probably worse than UMass and UConn, worst team in the complete college football. The coach is incompetent. The quarterback got concussed twice. They called fouls. They got smoked by Navy. They got Coastal Carolina today, who just started football like in 2007. So I just wanted to express my displeasure about my Temple Owls, the coaching staff, the administration, everything. And it's going to be a long year. That's all I can say. Anything to console me, Jack?
I just don't want to see a John Rothstein tweet. That's all. I don't care. That's another irrelevant team, Temple football. My God, they're worthless. Just worthless. They are.
Well, I do know one thing. They ain't making the playoffs. They'll be lucky to win one game. Last week, we did our picks. I had taken Tennessee minus 7.5 over North Carolina, minus 7.5. They won outright by more. So that gave me, I'm going to 2-0. Right? 2-0. Right?
But you can't count to 2? What?
I'm just saying it 2. It's weak. Because and then we had Jack with the luckiest pick of the year. He had Michigan and Texas over 52.5.
Yeah, I don't know how that was lucky. I just won. It would have been unlucky if I lost, and it was 42.5, by the way.
42.5, and you were the guys that horrible quarterback for Michigan Had to lead them down the field to catch you the win, which is shocking, but you did win that. Any word on that game? Other than
No,
the
that
fact you
game
got
it
lucky
was
as hell?
pretty boring because again, like I picked that as my my luck of the week because I wanted to be like locked in on that game, and it was clear early in the first quarter that it just wasn't going to be a game worth watching because it just wasn't close, and Texas kind of shut it down in the second half, and I'll take the win.
Okay, I won't say lucky. You got fortunate that they had a chance to win that game. I'll say fortunate. We'll argue about that later. Mr. Greco had had the Nebraska-Colorado game under. That was 52.5.
Yeah, I said he was going to be wrong. He was very right. I mean, the offense that Satterfield and Matt Rule put out in the second half was a sham. I mean, that was a sham. And Colorado's a sham as well. So good for Chris. That was a good pick. They won that easily. Didn't sweat it at all.
Okay, so Jack with a couple hot takes this week. Notre Dame fraud, Temple awful, Michigan fraud, and Nebraska's offense a sham, as well as Colorado's team.
No. I'm saying what they did in the second half was sham. You can't complain. I mean, the game was over. They weren't giving up 28 points to Colorado, but like some of the stuff they were doing on offense in the second half when they could have killed that team was horrible.
Jack getting both Nebraska and Colorado fans aggravated with him today. I like to hear that.
How am I getting Nebraska, Colorado?
Because you said it was a sham offense. You said Colorado's a sham.
That's what the message boards are saying. The Nebraska fans are like, that was a disgrace in the second half, but hey, it was fun.
But isn't it a win a win?
Of course.
Doesn't matter you win or not.
I'm not complaining about the win.
Matt Rule's done a pretty good job there, I would have to say. And he's got a long way to go, but he's done a great job there. And finally, Mr. Yard Goat himself, Kevin. He picked Iowa minus 3.5 over Iowa State. Iowa State, I think, won outright 22-21 or something. So does that make him 0-2, the Yard Goat man?
Yeah, and he lost like 2 times all last year, bragging about how good he is, and then just horrible start. Picking that game, you know what I'm talking about. Like I said, paint drying. That game's horrible. Corn growing. Oh, my God. He was loving Iowa in the first half. I don't watch a second of that game. He was loving Iowa in the first half. Texas was celebrating all this. I checked the score. It's like, Kevin, they're in trouble here, and he ended up not winning. So it's fun. He's in almost a must-win spot coming up this week.
Yeah, and one of your mother's coworkers, or person who used to work for her husband was a tight end at Iowa State. They were texting back and forth. The mom, they were struggling in the first half, and they come back and they knock Kevin off his high horse, which is always good to hear. So that brings me to Kevin. We got our college football Mr. Kevin coming in. What do you got for me, Jack? We ready to go?
Yeah, let's go. You know what? We'll play this other because it's topical after. I'll play the college football stuff first.
All right.
Football. I was actually able to watch more than I expected going into the day. We had multiple phones going on the party bus. I was watching 5-6 games at once. And I also watched a lot of films Sunday night. So I feel like I'm ready to go to be prepared to talk about this past week. The first thing I need to address, this Marcus Freeman guy at Notre Dame, I think I mentioned this last year. This guy, they're doing like this hard knock stuff with Notre Dame and everything. And before their win against A&M, as they were getting out of the tunnel, there was videos of him pumping the crowd up, but not the crowd up, his guys up as they were heading out. This guy is more of a movie star than a coach. He should be a Notre Dame ambassador. He should not be a Notre Dame coach. The fact that he lost to Northern Illinois, by the way, this is the guy that lost to Marshall and Stanford previously as a Notre Dame coach, and both of those teams were horrible as well. He's not even in the same stratosphere as Brian Kelly. He isn't the guy, and they need to make a serious change. I know he's a great ambassador for Notre Dame. He's a great family man. I'm sure he's a tremendous person. He cannot be the coach of that team. He can't.
All right, that's good, Kevin.
Yeah, so Kevin's one of those Irish Catholic
crazies.
I gotta at least pretend I care about Notre Dame type thing. So he has to have takes on that. He's pissed. He's hated Freeman since last year. I remember that. I've said this for a while now. Notre Dame, the funniest thing they could do is just be like, you know what, F everything. We want to win football games and just hire Urban Meyer.
You know what's funny is they're not getting rid of this Freeman guy. I got bad news for him. You're stuck with him at least for the year. And like I said, Jack,
why do you say that? Why did you just at least for the? Of course, no one gets fired. Of course, they're stuck for him at least for the year. But if they get rid of him after this year, it's a very good move by the administration.
If he rolls off 9 straight wins,
they're not going to.
They will be in the playoff. There will not be another team.
Okay, if they have one loss, I'm all for them being in the playoffs.
Now they're in the playoffs with one
loss. If they have one loss, but they're not going to. They're not going to. They're going to have 2.
Okay, he says
at least.
Right.
No, they'll have like 4, but at least.
Okay, so hold on, I want to write down. Run, Kevin, while I write down Jack's prediction.
Okay, do your writing down. That's going nowhere. You're throwing that paper away after this podcast.
I'm going to take a picture of my phone.
The other big game was Texas, Michigan. Michigan is basically the Big Ten version of Florida State, like highly ranked preseason, but just doesn't have what it takes. And I think
Very insulting.
I think that they may be the 5th or 6th best team in the Big Ten. And I'm not joking when I say that. I think Ohio State's better. I think Oregon's better. I mean, after USC beating LSU, I think USC's better. Penn State, who knows? I mean, James Franklin and Penn State, who knows? But I would also add Nebraska into the mix. And this leads me to Nebraska. I think that this podcast in this show is basically going to be a Nebraska podcast this year because I am all in on Matt Rule.
Oh, God save me.
Super impressive win. Their home stadium was rocking, too, at Nebraska. Wow. I mean, what a great environment when they're winning football games. And in Colorado, just to turn the page onto them, they're an embarrassment, and they should not be discussed nationally for the rest of the season.
Good news.
Just
Jack, we don't have to
disgusting.
discuss
And
Colorado.
Shador blaming his O-line after that. I mean, it's just yuck.
All right, so the one
First of all,
thing,
his offensive line sucks.
well, but didn't they do the whole offseason? They were rebuilding it, and that was all the hype. It's like Deion's got this program on the rise. The thing, let's talk about Colorado real quick.
Okay,
Deion,
no, I like that.
Deion, I mean, like, honestly, I saw Stephen A. Smith said it was like he'd thrive if he were actually at a big SEC program. It's like, do you know how lucky he is he's at Colorado? Like, they're just kind of happy to have some attention and, like, maybe win a football game here or there because they suck so much. It's like if he were at a high profile SEC school, the stuff he's doing right now, that wouldn't fly there. Like the boosters, he'd get fired. He should get fired from Colorado. They're gonna not make a bowl game again this year. Their team sucks. He's gonna lose his 2 best players to the NFL. I don't know. Like it's been a failure at Colorado. He should have stayed at Jackson State. Honestly, it's been bad. And like Kevin said, he loves Matt Rule. It was unbelievable how good they look. They're fun to watch play football. They play defense. They play like I always say, an NFL style of football, which I rip on the NFL, but it's good in college when you're winning games, and it's just a good style of football to watch. It is. They're big, physical, tough, strong Big Ten football.
Good.
They could win the whole Big Ten. They could.
I agree with you, but Colorado, back to them. So your prediction is they will not go to a bowl game?
Yeah,
That's
no.
how I got Colorado. Okay,
I don't know
everybody
their
got
schedule,
no bowl
but
game.
they're probably
They're
not.
in the Big 12, but it's kind of crappy. They got a good quarterback. So the problem is, I understand, bitch. If the coach is responsible for building the team, and he's built the team and torn it down and built the team. Would it work in the SEC? Who knows? Who knows? I think he wants an NFL job because that's where he belongs.
No,
That's where he belongs. I think Sanders wants an NFL.
They threw from Shador standing in his own end zone, like a cross field, like curl route pass. It was the easiest pick six I've ever seen in the history of football. They made some dumb plays. And that guy I talked about on the podcast last week, Ty Robinson from Nebraska,
The big guy?
the biggest guy ever. First drive of the game. So it was like I was talking up this guy last podcast. The first drive of the game, he deflects a pass on first down, gets a sack on third down. He blocked a field goal. He has so far this year, his stats are out of this world. He's like the new Ndamukong Suh. He's phenomenal.
Yeah, I watched him. You're right. He's like, what's he, 6'6", 290
Matt Rule's
pounds?
talking about him, said he came back. He could have went to the NFL. Probably going to end up being smart for him because it's going to improve his draft stock. He's talking about how he hurt his neck. He grabbed him so hard. If you see the guy without his helmet, he's the biggest dude ever. It's fun to watch.
So the question is, who's his D-line coach?
Oh my God, it's
Remember
Podrose.
that?
Yeah, it's
Podrose.
Terrence Knight. Talk about another
There
huge
you
guy
go.
who dominated the Patriots in that 2013 AFC Championship title game that wasn't even close.
For everybody who wants to know, Terrence Knighton is a Temple Al alum as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we gotta look at all the good things. All right, we got Kevin next. Jack, we got a lot going here.
Oh, we got more Kevin.
More Kevin. Go.
Yeah.
I want to see him.
The last.
And then the other big game was Tennessee NC State. That was the Fowler Herb Street game under the lights at NC State, and Tennessee played really well. And credit to Jimbo and his lock pick and that quarterback. I'll keep on saying it, but that quarterback Nico Imaleva or whatever he's something.
He's always
else.
loved him though.
In terms of picks, I had some meltdowns at the party bus and in the box. It was a bloodbath for me. I went 5-11. Iowa looked unreal.
5-11 and lost his lock.
Completely
Yeah,
choked
that's
that game
bad.
against Iowa State. I really have no words to describe that one. So for the season, I'm now 11-13-1 in picks, and 0-2 in locks. So this is a big week for me, and I'm really fighting for my life in locks and with the Joe Trevisani Award because you guys are 2-0, and I can't believe I'm doing this.
Oh,
But
here we go.
Here
I'm
is
ready
my
for this.
pick for this week.
He's gonna go. That was one of mine. You can't take my pick, bastard.
I have the Florida State Seminoles -6.5 against Memphis at home. It's going to be at Florida State. Jack needs to give me back my Florida State hat because I'm rocking the Seminoles this week. This is the ugliest pick of all time. This is the ugliest
I
pick
agree with that,
you'll
Kevin.
ever do.
I was going to take it.
I'm once again getting in the mud, getting in the trenches with this one. DJU is a horrible quarterback for Florida State. He is horrible. He failed at Clemson. He failed at Oregon State, and he's failing at Florida State. But I just think Florida State is better than what the spread is giving them in this game, and they got to do it. They got to do it. I can't believe I'm putting my life in the hands of this team, but that's what I'm rolling with. All right, see you guys.
I love Kevin. He's a good pick. I like you to stick your neck out of the line because you got nothing to lose because you're already losing. But that's good. I actually have to say I like that Florida State pick a lot. I've been looking at that. They got the week off, a bit to recover. Memphis is in the American. They're not really the greatest team that ever lived, so not a bad pick. The other pick to click this week from Mr. Greco, he has Wazoo minus 4.5 over Washington State University. Washington State, the one of the two teams that got booted out of the Pac-12 and now are living in la-la land in reality. So that's not a bad pick either. Jack, what do you got for your lock?
So my lock of the week, I'm going off my Dion hate. I saw they're playing at Colorado State this week, almost beat them last year, and they're 7-point favorites. So I'm taking Colorado State at home with 7 points. So we'll see what happens there. I'm rooting against Dion. Travis Hunter got banged up a bit. The Sanders kid on defense is hurt. The quarterback Sanders is hurt a little bit. So we'll see what happens. I think there's a chance that the locker room falls apart and they quit pretty soon. So hopefully that happens.
All right, and because you bloviated, I have two ones I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at Oregon minus 16 over Oregon State. Oregon has not played a good complete game yet. This is a rivalry in-state game. And the other game I'm looking at is Notre Dame at Purdue. Purdue getting 10 points. 10 points is a lot of points at home, especially Notre Dame came out like shit. So I'm going to go with Oregon minus 16 against Oregon State and 16.5 versus Oregon State. And again, the Ducks in the Big Ten, the Beavers in the land of the lost out there in the West. It'll be interesting to see. I think Oregon needs a big game here. They've had two close games in a row. I expect them to come out with a little bit of fire in their belly. And it's almost just like Chris's pick of Washington State. Or Wazoo, excuse me, over Wazoo. Wazoo, is that Washington State or Washington?
Yeah, Washington State. What are you doing here?
I'm confused. I wrote the wrong name down. So Chris has Wazoo plus 4.5 over Washington. Okay, that's it. Chris, if I'm wrong, I'm going to look at my text. I'm going to let you go. Speak about the locks. I'm going to check our text.
Hey, he did. You don't even remember his lock. But you can't. You're blaming me. You didn't get this done.
I just need you to talk.
You can't remember his lock. Talk about what? Kevin's lock.
No,
Kevin's lock. Florida State. Gross. My lock. Obviously going to win because that's all I do. Nebraska didn't even have a line again. I'm just waiting. The only lock that matters this season is when Nebraska does go into Columbus, Ohio, to play Ohio State like 7-0 when they're both undefeated, and I lock Nebraska. That's the lock I'm looking for. That's what we're waiting for right now. All in.
All right, that's good. It is Wazoo plus 5.
Go
over
Big
Washington.
Red.
So it's Wazoo. So he's going the opposite way of me. I'm gonna keep my Wazoo. So just to wrap up our picks to click, Kevin FSU minus 6.5 over Memphis. Chris plus 5 with Wazoo over Washington. Jack Colorado State plus 7, and Jim's got Oregon minus 16.5 versus Oregon State. So 2 favorites and 2 underdogs. So it'll be a good week. Jim, Jack are both 2-0. Chris is at 1-0. We got to give him an opportunity to pick 2 games 1 week, and Kevin sits at 0-2. So just to wrap up college football, Jack, I just get the feeling right now the SEC is so far more dominant than any other conference.
I don't know about that. The Big Ten's got teams.
I still think the SEC is better. Do you think, and we've talked about this, is that the conference going to get 4 teams?
Really? Our preseason thing, I told you this. I told you the SEC and the Big Ten is so much better than everyone else. And you go, no, you disagree. They probably both do.
Okay.
Like, they probably both do, which is what I said they were going to get 7. They probably both do. They're so much better. There's no other at-large teams that are good enough. The winner of the ACC is going to get killed. They are. They're not going to beat.
So we're going to have the 8 teams from. We're going to have eight teams from those 2 conferences. Then we're going to have the ACC champ, the Big 12
Well, that would be
champ.
the 4 right there. That would it's not even possible. So we'll go.
That's 10, no. And the AC champion is 11.
yeah, you're right,
Or the group of 5 is 11. So there's technically one other team from either the ACC.
Sure. Notre
Big
Dame,
12,
like you
or
said.
Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I still think Notre Dame sneaks in. Okay. I like it, Jack. We got some good guarantees here to go for. I got to make sure I write these down so we get down the season. We can make fun of you or not.
And just to lead into the NFL, we'll finish up Kevin's call, and he has a little lead in for us.
Oh God save the Queen.
My Hartford Yard Goats experience. I'll just say this: the Yard Goats ownership group and everybody involved. Thank you so much for your incredible hospitality. The game was delayed for a couple hours. We had basically unlimited food and drink. We had a great time. They had the TVs going for college football, which, as you know, is very important for me. So I really appreciated that. But the MVP of the day was definitely that party bus driver. He was incredibly patient with the 13 of us who were having a good time, and he did God's work. So
he's a party bus driver. You aren't the first 13 drunk kids on his party bus.
Thank you to him.
There's no way he was drunk on that
Another
bus.
thought before I get into college football. There's nobody I love more on this planet than Tom Brady.
Oh my God.
He is my hero.
I didn't even write him down. I got to write him down.
That was horrible.
Oh!
That was horrible. I turned it off at halftime. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And all I could think about is, oh my God, this is so bad. All I could think about is that Jimbo just must be loving this. He must be loving it because, Jimbo, even though the guy has won 7 rings and he's the best quarterback of all time, Jimbo doesn't like him for whatever reason. And
because he's a phony.
I don't know what to do. I don't know if I can watch America's Game of the Week anymore. That was tough. That was tough. Tom, if I'm listening, if you're listening, I love you, and I know you're going to get better. But wow.
Tom Brady, the Donald Trump of the NFL. All right, what do we?
That didn't make any sense.
Well,
Tom Brady was horrible.
Tom
Brady was horrible, but again, he sounded nervous. Like he sounded where it was like he was thinking about everything he was going to say before he said it. I think he'll get better. You can't be worse than he was. Well, you could be Colt McCoy, but you can't.
Oh my God, he was.
You can't be worse than that. Well, like Brady, you could tell Brady was like nervous. There's room for improvement with Brady. Colt McCoy just has no cadence or any enthusiasm or anything. So Colt McCoy is just a waste. But again, I laughed seeing Brady suck and all Twitter rip on him. It was fun.
That's what we get. All right, go on to the NFL. Week number 1. All right. Again,
boring.
I know, but again, obviously, the best team in the league played on Thursday night, and maybe Thursday night.
Pats, they didn't play Thursday. You said the best
Oh
team
my
in the
God!
league. 4 wins, my ass.
That's
You
what-
were
I'm
lying.
sticking-
You were
I'm
lying.
sticking with
4 wins.
4.
They're going to win 8. They're a great team.
Okay. I got to write that take. They're going to check. What's that take
Do you
again?
have their schedule?
I'll pull it up.
You should pull up their schedule. I'll tell you right now. Don't they play the Seahawks this week? Win. We're at 2
Okay.
already.
All
They'll be
right.
a playoff team.
All right, the best team
Defense is good.
Okay,
Underrated.
so they're better. They're better. Declan, you're right. They're better than the Chiefs. They'll destroy the Chiefs if they play them. If they play the Chiefs in the second round of the playoffs,
I do have to say,
Patty Mahomes are going home.
Yeah, I'm not.
Patty, go homes. Play the Pats.
Okay. But the thing about the Bengals is, let's just start with, because this is the most important game, the Pats-Bengals.
Bengals. Oh.
The thing about the Bengals, I saw, it's like, well, it won't be too much worry. It's like the Bengals are 1-4, 1-5 in game 1, in week 1 in the Joe Burrow era. And I was thinking to myself, it's like, they've also only had 1 good year in the Joe Burrow era. It's not like they've had all these great seasons. They had 1 good season. If they're not good this year, like, when do we start talking about, like, I gave Burrow the benefit of the doubt at the end of last year, but if it doesn't happen this year, is he a fluke?
Well, I think his problem is he can't stay healthy. He can't stay on his feet. And the coach was so much praise for that coach when they beat the Chiefs in a fluke getting overtime coin toss, right? Is that what happened that year?
No, they just beat him. The Chiefs sucked in the second half.
So, I mean, you're living and dying on Burrow. I'm still, like I said,
They beat him in overtime.
That's what I mean. I hate to bring this back to everybody, but I did say that eventually, in the end, Jalen Hurts would be a better pro quarterback than Joe Burrow.
No.
I'm going to stick with that take. But you don't think so?
No.
Okay, so you don't like Joe Burrow either?
No, I don't like Jalen Hurts either.
Okay, Jack don't like Jalen Hurts.
I don't like Nick Sirianni.
First, I'll give the Patriots a ton of credit. They came out, and what did they do? They played the Bill Belichick way. Don't turnover, protect the ball, no turnovers, run good, solid offense, continue the running game, and shut them down on defense. The 2 best players on the field, the white kid on the defensive line, Keon White, and Gonzalez, who was phenomenal, and now he's back.
Well, and Stevenson was fantastic.
Well,
as
that's
well in that
offense. I
game.
said on the defense. And Brissett doesn't make mistakes. Brissett just doesn't make a mistake. So we'll see what happens. I don't think we'll go on their schedule in a minute. Kansas City Ravens. That was the big Thursday night opener.
That was a fun game to watch. It was. The Ravens. They're never. We talked about this game, didn't we?
No, we did our podcast last Wednesday. This game was on Thursday.
That's weird. It feels like we did talk about this game because I remember. I remember talking. Okay, yeah, I remember. Xavier likely just with some horrendous sound bites from the Ravens after the game. The Chiefs are going to be really good this year. They're faster. Their offense looks more dynamic. They have some stuff to clean up, but they will. The Ravens, it's just like they're never going to beat the Chiefs. They aren't. That's just how it goes.
I'll say right now that just to decide on the not even the Chiefs. Our listeners are very lucky. We're not taping this at home. Why Jack's mom, my wife Kelly, is listening because she gets really aggravated with us because we just go after each other. And I apologize to her because we are nuts, but we ought to take it home one day as we're fighting in the room watching the game.
Okay, whatever. We literally recorded podcasts from home all the time, so that's kind of a
not at home. We did them at home in different rooms.
Yeah, but that's the same thing. Whatever.
That
actually makes it even worse. It spreads the noise more.
My pet peeve with you is I'll bring that up later. I hate everybody that Jack thinks I hate.
No, Nebraska. You were rooting for Colorado in that game. I forgot about that. You were 100% rooting for Colorado. That's crazy.
I was not rooting for Colorado.
It's like we could pull up the tape from the Scheffler. You claim you like Scotty Scheffler.
God,
you do not like Scotty Scheffler.
Okay, let's go on the NFL. We'll talk about this at the end. And because I think you are so delusional. Delusional. Okay. Kevin, Chris, if you're listening, Jack is calling me the hater of all haters. I don't hate Matt Rule. I could give a shit about Scotty Scheffler. I don't hate him.
No.
Who else did I hate this week?
Those two.
No, there's one other guy you said I hated.
I don't know.
I forget. It really pissed me off.
I don't know.
I'll think about it. Okay. All right. Other games. Big game down in Brazil. Bad field, early, spikes issues. Eagles came back and won 34-29. Packers, two teams that are going to make the playoffs. It's amazing. Probably those were probably the two best games of the week.
Jordan Love got hurt. That's like that situation where Kevin happy about McCarthy getting hurt. It's like, no, I wanted Jordan Love to play so I could be like, this guy's not that good. But the Packers, that's tough for them. We had said the Bears are going to be good. They looked horrible. So
they came back and won, though. They did win.
I know, but they looked terrible.
Okay, so Bills looked...
I don't care about the Eagles. The Eagles, again, they have that coach. Why talk about the Eagles when we know they're not going to win anything?
All right, how about the Bills and the Bills-Cardinals? Tight game. Kyler Murray actually played pretty well. Josh Allen got off his schneid in the second half. I think that team is going to be a yo-yo team, the Bills. I still think they're the best team in the AFC East, but they struggled. Steelers-Falcons, one of the most boring games you could ever have, 18-10 Steelers. And Titans-Bears, we talk about 24-17. Any of those three games stand out that you want to give a shout-out on?
TJ Watt's pretty good. What was the last game you said?
The Bears-Titans, where they came back and won.
Yeah, no good special teams from the Bears there to win that one. Again, I didn't watch a ton of NFL football this weekend. Those were useless games. Good thing Matt Judon's helping Atlanta.
Was Simone Biles' husband scored a touchdown game,
yeah,
right?
That was special teams. Yeah, that was off like a block kick or whatever, block punt.
All right, the next set of games, Texans with a late second field goal to win 29-27 over the Colts. Must make J-Trev really excited. Jags Dolphins won 20-17. Jaguars actually played for them really well. What happened before the game was kind of weird, but your starting best receiver gets arrested. That's kind of strange.
Yeah, he played well.
Saints over the Panthers, 47-10. And the next game, these will be, and the Vikings 28-6 over the Giants. Are the Giants and the Panthers, are they the two worst teams that we could ever have this year?
The Panthers definitely are. The Giants, it's just like Daniel Jones he's helpless. He's helpless. You almost feel bad for him. He's getting heckled by fans after the games. He can't make a throw. I saw he has more pick sixes than touchdowns since he signed his contract or something. I don't know if that's true. That was something that I was like, how is that? How is that real? But the Panthers, I mean, God, horrible ownership, horrible management. Good thing Matt Rule got out of there. Bad. It's good to see Nebraska win and the Panthers lose, and that'll always be fun for me.
All right, now the next set of games. This is one I'd done some reading on. The Chargers beat the Raiders 22-10, which was Jim Harbaugh's first game back in the NFL. You know, maybe we should just hire the dumbest person to coach the Raiders of all time, because whoever that coach's name, Pierce or whatever his name is.
Oh, wasn't he the guy who took over last year?
Yeah, and he kicks he's down by 6 or 7. So he was down 14-10 with 5 minutes to play in their territory, and he punted. And then Seattle ran it out. Just, you know, you and I talked a lot about this. Somebody's got to manage the clock. But that was the Broncos. I don't think the Raiders will lose any again.
You said like 4 names there. You said Seattle, the Broncos. What game was that?
No, Chargers beat the Raiders.
Okay.
Seattle beat the Broncos.
All right.
The Broncos had Knicks. I'm sorry. And Seattle, you say, is next for the Patriots. Cowboys, Browns. That was the game with Tom Brady.
Yeah, it was.
Exciting and new.
Honestly, I actually watched a lot of that game. I can't remember a single thing happening in the game. I was just thinking about Tom.
Okay.
Deshaun Watson sucks. He raped somebody too. So I don't know what's going on with him.
Hey, it's just a bitch when they don't get what they want. That's all. Commanders, Buccaneers, 37-20. Commanders, Buccaneers won. That was Baker Mayfield really played well, which is a shock. And then the Rams, Lions, which I thought was a really good game, overtime game. The Lions ended up winning 26-20. And then the Monday night game was 49ers and Jets. And again, the Jets he was horrible. I thought, your big boy, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, no, I mean, the 49ers are very good. They are.
Yes, they are. Okay, now before we end up the NFL, I'm going to go back here and I'm going to look for the Patriots schedule because I don't know what it is off the top of my head.
That doesn't matter. You're just gonna be wrong and then be like, oh,
Patriots got Seahawks, Jets, 49ers, Dolphins.
All wins.
Come on, all wins. So they're 5-0 going into the Texans.
Yep.
Then the Texans, Jaguars, Jets, Titans.
Okay.
Okay. And then the Bears, Rams, Dolphins, Colts, Cardinals, Bills, Chargers, Bills. They'll be lucky to win 4 games. I still say
they'll win 7 games.
Now you're down to 7?
Yeah, probably.
You had 8. What is it? Is it 8 or 7?
I mean 7. Why
8 or
not?
7.
It's easier to say 7 than 8.
It is. No, it's not. I can say 8 just using it as 7.
No.
So you're going with
actually
7.
You can't.
They'll go with 7. So Jack's over under 6.5 on the NFL. Patriots. Give them credit. They come out and won. Can't deny that. It must have made Kevin just the happiest Patriot fan in the world. I was just wondering how the game was for Kevin. The Yard Goats AAA baseball game was. So that's our NFL. Week 2 coming up. When do you think it gets exciting in the NFL, Jack?
Never. The conference championship games of the playoffs normally are.
Okay. All right.
So we'll wait till then.
So the other football thing I want to go over is Bill Belichick joined the Mannings cast on Monday night, and I thought he did really well. It's interesting the way he explains the game. He's like Tony Romo, but only 3,000 times smarter than the way he talks about what's going on the field. And I think you almost need a PhD in football. What did you think? Did he mesh well with the 2 guys? And again, I hate Eli and Peyton do such a great job with that. But what were your first impressions of Mr. Bill Belichick?
Yeah, it was good to watch. I like watching Belichick. I like watching Peyton. I like watching those guys. So I was obviously going to enjoy that. The funniest thing, Peyton getting mad at Ayuk for not signing his contract, dropping passes in the end zone. That was great. But no, it was fun to watch, and I think it's going to happen every week. So that'll be fun watching going forward. They're entertaining.
Okay, and then the Bill Belichick watch is probably on, right? A couple bad teams. Where do you think he ends up?
I don't know. He shouldn't coach. He really shouldn't. There's no need. There's nothing for him to do in coaching, really.
Well, there is. He wants to pass Schuler's record.
All right, I get that and all, but you can't tell me he's having a great. He's on every TV show possible right now. He does whatever, sits at home, watches football. He doesn't have to think about things. I don't know. I don't know why he go back into coaching. I really don't.
Okay, I will allow you to have that opinion. I think he comes back. I think it'll be the Cowboys if they shit the bed, or I wouldn't be shocked to see him back with the Giants either. But I think he wants to come back and get a shot at that. The other thing I saw come over the wire was Adam Silver, your illustrious commissioner of the NBA, is talking a little bit about expansion. Is there enough talent worldwide?
Yes,
there is. You think there is? Of course. Why? Yeah, why? You don't think so? So all these crappy teams that'll never make the playoffs and never get a chance to win the championship.
All right, there's just
because
2
I think
more.
it's thinned out. There's 2 more. You think it makes sense? How does that impact the Celtics?
It doesn't. How would that impact the Celtics? What do I care about expansion teams? Go for it. Expand. Why do I care?
Okay, Jack does not have a take on expansion. Awesome.
I have no
why do I care? Because they kind of suck.
If you want to, do it. If you don't want to, don't do it. I get the championship. I got rings coming. I got more wins coming. I got more years of being championship favorites coming. Expand all you want. What do I care? I'm not a poverty team.
Hey,
I don't have to have my lottery pick pumped down one by the expansion team.
That's true. Hey, I just
Now, if this were like 2017, 2018, I'd probably be against expansion because we got all those draft picks, high,
Right.
and that probably could mess that up a little bit.
I just got an alert on my phone. Kevin in our fantasy baseball league, guess who he just picked up?
Kevin, he's not in the playoffs. Oh, Kevin O'Donnell.
O'Donnell.
No, oh, I shouldn't have said his last name. Kevin, who did he pick up? I thought you meant Kevin, the commissioner.
No,
right?
Kevin. Frank was right guy.
Oh yeah,
He picked up Kumar Rocker.
Oh my God,
'Cause he's
gonna
pitching
get. Well,
that.
it doesn't matter
I
because
know,
with
I know,
Kevin
it
because
doesn't matter.
he's already won that fantasy
Yeah.
matchup. But Kumar Rocker, I remember. He pitched a perfect game in the College World
Yes, he
Series,
did.
and then
It's
he's
just-
been
it's just
downhill
funny.
ever since.
It's just funny. Kevin is so in love with these young players, and we're going to redraft anyway next year.
Well,
But-
I get Jared Jones and Paul Skeens, so like you're in love with all these young players, but I have all the good pitchers.
Oh, well, we'll see. We're in a battle, though, right? I think I was about 20 points down.
Yeah, well, you're getting lucky, Ronaldo stuff
I'm
like
getting
that.
lucky with all those.
Baseball's
stuff. Yeah, yeah.
baseball.
That's right. I'm trying to think. I had two more things. We're going to talk about music and sports, but we sort of over limit because Jack didn't get Oasis tickets. He was very depressed.
What? Oh, I don't care about getting Oasis tickets. You think I tried to get Oasis tickets?
No,
that was
I'm
wild.
just bust your balls. Jack's favorite thing of a baseball game. Anybody want to guess what it is? It's between the eighth inning, when the top of the eighth ends, and they play Sweet Caroline at Fenway.
Yeah, you're just trying to. You're doing clickbait stuff here. Sweet Caroline,
Clickbait because you
whatever.
hate Sweet Caroline.
Yeah, I get that, but Oasis tickets.
I'm just
Oasis
busting your
tickets.
chops. I'm just busting your chops. And then finally, we talked about this home, and this is
Kendrick Lamar's performing at the Super Bowl. That came out. People are mad that like Lil Wayne isn't because it's in New Orleans. It's like hasn't it been New Orleans like 5 times in the past 15 years? He couldn't have performed at one of those. But yeah, no, Kendrick Lamar, good choice. He'll put on a good show.
So, can you educate me on Kendrick Lamar, not songs? Who are his contemporaries? Is Lil Wayne a contemporary of Kendrick Lamar? Or
No,
is
Drake.
Drake, that's what I'm thinking. Isn't Kendrick Lamar like up here and Lil Wayne's like little down here?
No, what are you talking about? Lil Wayne? No. No. What? No,
Well,
Lil in the if you're ranking like all-time rappers, I would think Lil Wayne actually would be a little bit higher than Kendrick Lamar.
Okay. That's
So
all I
no,
know.
that's wrong. What you said is
Okay.
wrong. Yeah, no, Lil Wayne is older and like more of his hits are from longer ago. Like he's more going up against like Kanye type that era. So that would be it, but he's just older. No, they're not. They're definitely a level rap in the
Okay,
in the
so
grand
they're-
scheme of
okay,
like rap.
okay.
They're a level Hall of Famers.
Where do they hang out with the Snoop Dogg? Are they better?
Probably ahead of him. Yeah.
Okay. The only people ahead of him would be like.
I don't know. I don't know. We're not doing that. I
I
don't
just want to
know.
know the rap crap.
No, you don't know. It's all subjective.
There you go. Finally, and that gets
No,
me.
no,
that
sport-
gets. Oh, that
No,
gets me to my next
that's
question.
not true though. Music's subjective. Sports aren't. They're
Sports-
not.
Okay, the question I
No,
asked.
you're either right or you're wrong
Okay,
with sports.
okay, we had an
You
agent-
you can like whatever music you want. Like people like country music. It's the worst thing you'll ever hear in your life. It's all the same. But I don't care. It's whatever. Sports, it's black and white. It is. Music's
Okay.
not.
All right.
I'll stand by that forever. You can be wrong. You can have
How
your own
can I
take in
be
sports,
wrong?
and you can be
Okay.
wrong. You could be Gareth Southgate and be like, I don't think Trent Alexander's good enough to play right back for England, even though he's your best player. That's wrong. It is. Black and white.
So, is picking between LeBron James and Michael Jordan, is there a right or wrong answer?
No, that's too close. So
That's sports,
I know, but that's too close. That's a little bit too close. That's different than what I'm saying. There's some things you can be wrong with.
So
You can have
you're
arguments.
saying that that somebody could make a pick, not a pick, could say Steve Kerr not playing Tatum, but they did win the championship, so that didn't matter.
Yeah, that's fine.
Was that right or wrong?
And well, technically, in the grand scheme of things, it's fine because they won the championship. I don't know.
won the gold
I'm
medal.
just saying. I get this all the time when it's like, oh well, it's the opinion in sports. You can't criticize. It's like, well, it's a stupid opinion.
But that's so you're going to tell me you're an analytics guy, right? Then
Well, it's like you say Michael Jordan and LeBron. It's like if you think Kobe Bryant's better than LeBron, then you're an idiot. Like that's I could say, oh, that's my opinion. That's subjective. It's like no, that's wrong. It just is, and just move on from it because I know you can't help yourself. Next.
No, because the next thing we're going to go next week or one of these weeks, we had a big fight at home. I'm not gonna pontificate on it. But the last thing that this is before we talk about your crappy frickin' soccer team.
Nothing even happened with my soccer team this week. It was international break.
Nothing happened. Thank the frickin' good Lord, nothing happened. We don't have to listen to Jack complain. One of the things we argued about at home, and I want to do a show, and I want to get Chris and Kevin and Justin here to talk about this because I think this is a great thing. The most important / influential person of whatever franchise. We had a big fight about this at home. This got Jack kicked out of the room because he started yelling.
I don't even know what was my take here.
Your take was that Tom Brady was more influential or important than Bill Belichick or Bob Kraft.
Oh yeah, duh.
Well, now he's gonna now, but we can't be. That's
I was like, I could have to defend myself here, and then you said that. It's like, oh
no. The other one was Ortiz.
David Ortiz
versus,
is a more impactful Red Sox than Ted Williams or Carl Yastrzemski.
That's a good argument to have. I think it's yes. But again, I came back to saying the owner, whoever brought them back. Kraft,
Kraft
and Henry are more impactful.
I think you're wrong. Like I said, black and white. I think you're wrong.
There's no way to measure it.
Wait, no. You're wrong if you say Yastrzemski is more impactful than Ortiz. If you say Williams and Ortiz are equal level, I'm not gonna argue that. Now you also are wrong if you say Robert Kraft was more important than Tom Brady.
Well, without Robert Kraft, we don't have Tom Brady.
But that's the dumbest thing ever.
He bought the team. If the team had stayed with the Remington dude, or Ordway or whatever his name was, that was another guy. They had some crappy owners, the Sullivans, and then some guy from the Remington company. Then Robert Ordway, who was with the Bush world. I still, you're right. On the field, I totally agree with you. In general, if we look at the whole big picture, influence and importance, it's not. That is not. We can't use numbers to define that. That's your opinion versus mine.
No. That's wrong. No,
I still think it's your opinion.
If we're going to sit here and argue that Robert Kraft's more important to the Patriots' success than Tom Brady was, you're wrong. I'm not going to say that that's subjective or you could have different numbers or facts here. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Okay.
The Glazers are more important to Tampa Bay's success than Tom Brady was? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Why haven't they won a Super Bowl without him?
Because they've sucked, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. It's
whatever. We'll talk about that. I want to, Kevin, if you're listening, I want to get your opinion on that.
No, Kevin disagrees with you like you wouldn't believe.
I know he does. That's why I want to get his opinion. I want to get Kevin and Chris and Justin. And you know what? That's a good one to call Tommy Travis on it. Because who do you think? Who's Tommy going to pick to be the most influential Celtic?
Bird.
Of course.
No. Yeah. That's not a horrible take.
Okay. I'll ask you this. Let's do the Celtics real quick. Who do you think?
What do you mean?
Most important, influential person in the Celtics?
Probably, I guess. I mean, like Bill Russell, because we talk about Banner 18 all the time, and we're talking about like Banner 7 if it isn't for Bill Russell. So I'll go Bill Russell. But again, Bird made basketball so popular, more so on a scale than Russell did. So I think that made the Celtics just a premier franchise in the NBA and a historic franchise in the NBA to a different level just because of that Bird Magic rivalry. So okay. I'll at the end of the day take Bird.
Okay.
Just because. They did both have enormous impacts on basketball,
right.
But I think Bird Bird helped really take it to
Bird
the next
took the
level.
NBA to the next level.
Yes. I'm saying the NBA.
Okay, so I think that.
But the lore of the Celtics and Auerbach and the cigars and the parquet floor and the winning and all that's because of Bill Russell.
So you had discussed. I think Auerbach is up there with Bill anyway. Auerbach had the balls to pick Bill and bring the black guy into Boston and develop an offense around him. And develop a team and make the deals. Auerbach was responsible for both Bill Russell and Larry Bird.
Okay, but Auerbach was almost like Auerbach was Belichick, Kraft, and like everyone in one.
Yeah, almost except for the owner. He wasn't really Kraft. He wasn't an owner. But no, you're right.
But he was the coach and the general manager and everything.
Correct.
But like Belichick was.
Just like again, I'll go back to your Man U pick.
Yeah, Ferguson, sure.
Right, it's the same kind of thing.
Ferguson, that's actually a very good comparison for Alex Ferguson.
So we're saying that Alex Ferguson compares to Red Auerbach and that he built a program and it was long-lasting and sustaining over the course of 20 years.
Yeah, he did have something. He still did. Manchester United probably were either the biggest or second biggest club in England when he took them over. I know they were. The Celtics weren't like that. He basically built something from nothing. Red Auerbach.
Good, and like I said, that'll be something that we'll work on as we go forward throughout the.
It's like Coach K. He built something from nothing there in Duke.
Yeah, but you know that Duke had made the Final Four with somebody else in 1978 before Coach K came in.
All right, fine. It's like I mean,
Rupp.
What about it? Yeah, that's too long ago though. What about was Indiana good before Bobby Knight?
Not with the success that they had.
Well, you could say, you know what? You could say your two boys that you love, Calhoun and Boeheim.
I could say my two boys that I love, Cal Parry and Cheney.
No, Cal Parry. Calhoun and Boeheim totally built programs out of nothing at their schools.
Oh, definitely yes, and I hate both of them. You're right. I'll have to pass on that. But you're right. That's a good point. Well, like I said, I want to try to get more guys in the studio if we can. because it's good to have the additional verbiage, especially with Kevin and J-Trap. So I want to thank Kevin for giving us his picks for the week. I want to thank Chris, who texted mine in.
He added Jacob deGrom, too, Kevin did.
Yeah, he did?
Yeah.
Kevin's on drugs.
Is he pitching?
DeGrom? He's pitching Friday.
DeGrom is?
Yeah, he doesn't need the points. I mean, it's okay.
No, he's looking forward. He thinks next week DeGrom's going to beat him.
DeGrom's going to go. So DeGrom's going to go 3 innings and 4 innings, blow us off.
He's an idiot. He thinks he's smarter than us. He's doing the auto drafting method where he thinks he's smarter than us. He's trying to replicate my Jared Jones pickup. No, I'm not. You think I'm scared of Jacob deGrom?
I am definitely not scared of Jacob deGrom either. Mm-hmm. But again, my pitching has been crap in the bed for the last 2 weeks, so I can't complain. Jack is still beating me by 30 points. Next Wednesday, we'll tell you how that matchup went off. Right now, I have to say that his pitching is 1,000 times better than mine, and he lost a lot of guys just like I did. Anything else before we wrap up? Episode 49. Next episode's a big one, 50, half a century. Anything else, Jack?
No, go Big Red, keep winning, and we're ready for Columbus week 8, 7.
All right, so look forward to that. We'll look forward to that. I actually will enjoy watching that game. So for Jack Boyle, this is Jim Boyle for It All Boils Down to This, and episode 49 in the books. We'll see you on down the road. Thanks for listening to this episode of It All Boils Down to This, recorded at WCTV studios in our hometown of Wilmington, Massachusetts. We are always open to any ideas, critiques, topics, and guests. So if anyone out there in podcast world needs to get a hold of us, we can be reached via email at jboyle22@comcast.net. Along with Jack Boyle, I'm Jim Boyle. Make sure to tune in to the next edition of It All Boils Down to This.